Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, and I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, what's up, Jason Glick?
Hey, John. Oh, it's just the usual. Back with more comics to talk about. And, yes, and this time, well, we're talking about going back to some things I've talked about in the past. Webcomics and Warren Ellis. Yeah, because, long-time readers know that, I just can't stop, fucking talking about this guy. The thing is, for an author to really lodge himself in my mind, he needs, a nice, long, respected creator-owned series in order to get my attention, so that he can write not only great stuff, but then eventually he'll be poached by Marvel and DC to write superhero stuff as well. But the thing is, a lot of my favorite writers, Ellis, Garth Ennis, Grant Morrison, Brian Vaughan, all those guys, they've all had nice, long creator-owned series, particularly from Vertigo. With Transmetropolitan, Preacher, The Invisibles, Why the Last Man. You can extend that definition over to Alan Moore, since he basically wrote the ultimate proto-Vertigo series, and with his run on Swamp Thing. And with these authors, when they've got that one series that shows that they're just worth following, wherever they go. It's I will follow them, to the ends of the earth. And the thing is, though, it's once you get to that post-Vertigo series, what do you do after you've got that career-defining moment? What do you do after that? Well, for a lot of creators, it's kind of I wouldn't necessarily say the cash-in, but it's kind of okay, we're going to go out and now we start working for we've succeeded on our own terms. Now let's go ahead and start working in the mainstream. A lot of these creators have gone to work for Marvel and DC. In the mainstream stuff, Garth Ennis wrote a defining run on Punisher. Now he's back doing more creator-owned stuff with The Boys and his various Avatar projects. Grant Morrison has basically been working almost exclusively in mainstream terms with X-Men and his various DC projects with Batman, All-Star Superman. Even though he has returned to the well for two projects, three projects: Filth, Sea Guy, and Joe the Barbarian, which I talked about on Monday. And Ellis, in some ways, Ellis has been kind of he's been on some level he's been both really prolific and then kind of not really there at all, because Ellis is one creator who hasn't really given us a real solid post Transmetropolitan series. Planetary doesn't count because he was running that concurrently with Transmet. Instead, he's been running a lot of short runs on series. He gave us a year's worth of Ultimate Fantastic Four, which is great. He gave us Next Wave, which is hands down one of the best Marvel comics of the last decade. His run on Thunderbolts, which is also a tremendous run, and he's also been doing various other bits for Avatar, with Gravel, which had a great first volume and then kind of two disappointing second ones. And let's see, Ignition City. He's also got other stuff like Super God and what was the other one? Oh, Captain Swing, which coming out soon. And he had a great bit of history lesson. Great history lesson in Chrissy, but still he hasn't really really sat down to give us great really deep ongoing series since then. It was supposed to be Dr. Sleepless. That was supposed to be his follow to Transmetropolitan, but that apparently is just kind of fallen off the radar, and he's apparently doing a big one shot to finish that up. Apparently is supposed to be coming back next year, which I'm all about, because it's ultra gritty, violent, gory noir is just beautiful stuff. The first volume was great. All for him doing more of it. I'd love to see if we get more than 2 volumes of that. But really, I'm going all over the map on this. But as of right now, his most substantial post-Transmet project has been Freakangels, story of 12 strange children who were born at the exact same time in England 23 years ago. 6 years Now, 6 years ago, they ended the world. This is the story what happens next. Now, longtime readers will know that I put this series as one of my 10 best a couple of years back, because I liked what it represented. I mean, here you've got basically it's like you got these strange kids who've got particular psychic powers. On one level they seem to have all the same, like Akira style, psychic powers. They can just smack you around with their mind, or they can just rewrite rewrite your inner workings of your brain as well. But all these 12 characters also seem to be like Ellis parceling bits of his personality off into particular personality traits. Like the one who is going to explore the boundaries of the mind, like the druggie, the tech wizard, the antisocial, the crazy antisocial person. I mean, it's I like the characters he created. Like what he did with the characters, but the idea is you're gonna have these 23-year-olds basically rebuilding society from the ground up, starting in Whitechapel. And there's a lot of interesting stuff at the beginning about how they're going to do that. Just about setting up, creating solar panels from scratch, dealing with people who are attacking them. How do they respond to that? How do they respond to basically securing things so well that they're basically succeeding themselves to death, in the sense that they're basically causing more, everything is going so well for them they're not going to have enough infrastructure in order to cope with everyone. It was great to see this kind of thing. What do you how do you rebuild the world after it's ended? I mean, there's not going to be any zombies running around in this case, and they're just going to be the various feral packs of humanity, the people who weren't as fortunate as the Freakangels clan to have all these psychic kids looking out for them, and and that was interesting. That was a focus for the first couple of volumes. Now, with the first volume, basically gets you introduced to most of the cast, with the standouts being KK, the girl who the antisocial, the girl who the foul-mouthed girl who likes to sleep with boys from Lambeth, Connor, the sensitive soul, who's basically the recorder for the crew. For the crew, Arcady, who had a heroin overdose years ago, and not only blew out her mind, but also made her the most adept at exploiting the Freakangels package. Kaz, who used to be black, but thanks to the Freakangels package, now basically is pale, has pale and albino features, and she's the tech wizard of that. See, Carl, who was the crazy. Let's see, was it Carl or was it Kirk? Who's the crazy bastard? Oh, no, Carl is the Watchtower man, likes to watch out for everyone. Carl is the gardener who just likes to wear a tinfoil hat in order to keep everyone out of his head. See, Jack is the scavenger. Circa is the girl who is trying to expand the boundaries of love and relationships. Basically, she likes to fuck with people a lot. Then there's Luke, who is who likes to also likes to expand, think about things in his mind, just figure out, just philosophize a lot, but he's basically a real dick at heart. And Mickey, who's the group's doctor. I mean, and then there's also Mark. Mark is kind of the and Kate. Kate is the police. And she really likes Quincy. I mean, really likes Quincy. And then there's Mark, who is basically the outcast bastard, who basically broke their one cardinal rule, who is you don't fuck with people in their minds. So when he did that, they chased him out, and two of them actually tried to kill him and failed. So So as well, the first two volumes are basically concerned with introducing us to the cast and just showing us like how they're going to go about rebuilding England. The around volume 3, things pick up a bit with Mark, with Mark's return, and eventually us finding out just exactly how these kids went and ruined the world, or did they ruin the world? That's something that comes up towards at the very end. But see, the thing with Freakangels though is that after reading this last volume, volume 6, there's ultimately kind of like a wide gulf between what I thought the series was going to be about, and also what I wanted it to be about, and ultimately what it wound up being in the end. Because while I thought the series was going to be about rebuilding the world from scratch, it ultimately turns out that it's about a bunch of kids having a bunch of kids taking responsibility for fucking up the world in the first place, and that I think is ultimately less interesting because while it does though the series does give Warren Ellis a lot of room to indulge his thoughts about reforming society, police work, and ultraviolence. It's ultimately. I don't know. The series feels ultimately too decompressed for its own good. Now, the series is really published as a webcomic. As I understand, it was about six pages every one to 2 weeks, and it just reading it as it comes out, it seems like Warren either in it's sad. It'd be interesting to find out if he actually this is exactly how he planned the series to be, or if he just let the pacing of a webcomic get away from him, kind of like in the way with the Foglios have, in my opinion, with Girl Genius, because there's a lot. The 6 pages at a time approach it's like basically you're having publishing one story beat at the time, but there's not a whole lot of discipline in terms of figuring out how much you're going to cram and how much you need to cram into a certain issue in order to make it work. Because 6 volumes this is over let's see, at 128 pages a volume, we're looking at over 700 pages of graphic novel here, and I just can't help but wonder would we have got more, would we have gotten more story here if all this had been divided up into 24 discrete 24 issue chunks? Because it seems because a lot of storytelling does feel really, really decompressed. It's a lot of stuff happens very slowly. Lots of characters talking about stuff. Not really a whole lot of action happening, and it works out fine when you've got all these when you're reading it in volume-sized chunks. But like I said, if this has all been compressed into say, if Ellis had been forced to deliver this as issue-length story, I can't help but think or feel that that we would have gotten more story. We've gotten more story here. I mean, Transmetropolitan was 10 volumes at around the same length per volume, but this, it just feels could a lot of stuff in each volume be whittled down to an issue? I think it probably could have. Maybe an issue or two if you just zoned out a lot of stuff. But to be honest, Ellis is still one of the best writers of dialogue in the business, and I just love reading a lot of reading his dialogue. There's also a lot of great moments, such as when Luke the bastard gets shot in the head and then finds out that eventually, oh no, he can't die. It's so he just basically starts going on for pages talking about the things he's realized after being shot in the head, and it's absolutely hilarious and breathtaking, especially in the way that artist Paul Duffield illustrates it. Now, Duffield, as I understand, this is probably his first major serialized comics work, because he's been doing a lot of covers for Avatar before this, and a lot of this. Well, the way a lot of the series has been set up is that it's in 4 panel grids, 4 panel pages, and so you're just basically getting a nice little snapshot of the scene for each panel. I mean, with each page, it's kind of it's almost like you're watching a movie with the approach which takes an animated movie at that, because it's very very cinematic, and it's like I said, it's just trying to just give us a snapshot of each scene. I mean, it's good stuff, and I like his character. And even though he's at first not really big on straight lines, I think it does work. It gives you nice. It makes the environments and the characters seem more animated and lively, and he does get better as work goes on. Things solidify and the characters get even more expressive. I mean, like that scene I told you about with Luke doesn't even happen until volume 5. I do wish in some cases the coloring had been a bit more distinct. Like there are some parts of it where it just feels kind of muddy and whatnot. But I guess the bottom line is that it's like without Ellis's talent for wit, for characterization, and I know I say this a lot. I say that it's like, yeah, it's like, I mean, he's like Ellis. I mean, he's fun. He's fun to read, but it's like, but overall, I mean, the end result is kind of like something just did he ultimately plan it out this way, or did he just realize that this isn't going nowhere? I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this up now. So, but I guess even if the overall the destination was underwhelming, the journey there was at least entertaining. That's so it is ultimately kind of a little depressing to me just to think that it's like, is Ellis going to just keep doing these like little mini series, these occasional assignments for Marvel, does he actually want? Is he actually going to get back behind the plow and deliver something as deep and epic as Transmetropolitan ever again? Freakangels, I was kind of hoping that was going to be his huge statement. His statement that hey, I'm here for the rest of my life. I'm here and I still matter. I'm like I can deliver stuff. Just I can put on another transmit whenever I want, baby. But ultimately, I don't know. It was kind of like I said. I was expecting more from it. I didn't get that. Still, it was like I said. It was entertaining, but it was a surface. It was a surface kind of entertaining. I hope that he'll go back to an ongoing series at some point. I hope that maybe we'll he'll deliver that. He won't just do another 7 or 8 issues of that and that'll be it. But we'll see.
Okay. Is
yeah,
that it?
That's it. I mean, it's like, I will say that it's like one other thing though. It's like with each volume contains basically the web comics published for in it and nothing else. So in theory, it's like assuming the web page is still up, you can go over to freakangels.com and read the whole thing. But for those of you who like the Dead who are like me and like the Dead Tree edition, you're not getting anything more besides the Dead Tree edition with each volume. It would be nice if it wouldn't surprise me if Avatar did decide to do some sort of omnibus treatment for the series, but there's been no word on that as of yet. So, like I said, it's entertaining, but it's for me it was ultimately a little depressing at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, and now I'm done.
And now you're finished. Any previews of what's coming up?
Oh, I'll think of something. I doubt that I'll be talking about. Well, I've ordered the rest of Max Allan Collins' Road to Perdition series off Amazon, and if I don't talk about it in 2 weeks' time, you can bet I'll be writing it up on the site between then. But as far as 2 weeks from now, well, all I can say right now, it might just be as much of a surprise to me as it is to you.
Well, that's the best kind, man. It's just a surprise. Just you'll have to wait.
Yes, you will.
We'll see you next time.
Okay, laters everyone.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.